Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is part 45 of the woman that married a man that didn't exist. If you are seeing this for the first time, you need to go check out the playlist in the description so you can start from the beginning. And I'm uploading it in parts actually, but later on I'll upload it in longer period of time as my network will allow
Part
me.
45 of How I
So for
Married a
those
Man That
up
Didn't
to date,
Exist.
let's
Going to be
go.
the last part until I get home from work. So that day, his mother and I had talked about Baker Act, Marchman Act. We couldn't Baker Act. A Baker Act is when you are in immediate danger to yourself or others. We had talked about doing a Marchman Act. This is when an adult is voluntarily placed in treatment for a substance use if they are a harm to themselves or others. He would have fit the criteria at this point with the drinking and driving, with the financial irresponsibility, with the abandoning his family. There were a lot of other things going on with his aggressiveness, his erratic behavior. This is something I just had to fill out online and submit to the clerk of court, and we would have had an immediate hearing, and they would have either granted the Marchman Act or not granted. If they would have granted a Marchman Act, that means that they would have essentially gone and arrested him in a quiet way, and they would have taken him to treatment. He would have done a psych eval, and then they would have placed him in a substance abuse treatment facility where if he left, there were like legal consequences for that. So I had told her family members can apply for their loved one, and because I was his next of kin, I was his wife, I could do that. I told her, this is the day I told her I feel like I'm being held hostage in my own life. That is truly how I felt. I felt so stuck. I had moved. I no longer had my own place. I had no resources. I had no family or friends here. And I had a husband who I thought loved me, but was doing every single thing to break me at every turn. And while I still have to be a parent, while I still have to keep up a job and my responsibilities. At this point, we had decided not to do the Marchman Act. I'm not sure why, but the Marchman Act. Later, and I filled it out. I did fill it out later on. I just never sent it in. I'll have to look back at my messages for that, but there was a time where I was very close to sending this in and getting him put involuntarily into a facility. So Rob also promised to go to detox again this day. He said Amber and Joe were going to take him, and that they would not let him stay at their house anymore if he didn't go. So at this point, it was sounding like they were fed up with his shit too. During this time, Emily told me that she spoke to Joe on the phone, and Joe had told her not to worry. They were going to take care of him, and they were going to make sure that he went. Like, they were going with him and walking him in.
See, you are hearing the mother. What did I tell you guys? She's a big enabler. We know that there's no Joe and Amber. We know he's staying with a woman, and the mother knows. She knows. There are a lot of mothers like this. They know that their child or their children are bad, but they will be covering up for them because they don't want them to lose the woman that's.
I don't remember my
This
reaction to
begins
this.
like
I think I was asking her a lot of questions about Joe, because this was just a mystery man to me. So nothing ever happened. He called me. He told me he was going to go to the hospital around 4 to 5. I told him I felt like he had ruined my life after I left everything behind to come be here with him and his family. I talked about the girls and his broken promises and how it was affecting them so deeply, which his response was, they're okay. The little one was having dreams that her father was there. And she would wake up and she would cry and be very upset because it wasn't real. It was a dream. And I told him that. So he also said during this time that his mom had told him that I had been saying to her that I thought he was with another woman, which was true, but I don't know why she would have told him that. So I told him all the reasons why I thought so, and he said, I don't have any reason to lie to you. If I was going to, I'd send you a picture while I was doing it. He loved to say that to me. I don't know why. Let's go back to this statement. I don't have any reason to lie to you. No, you don't have any reason to lie to me, but you continue to. You have no reason to lie. So he never went to detox that day. I don't know what fell through with Amber and Joe. I don't know. October 22nd, he promised he was going to go to the hospital again. All day. I'll go later. I'm going at this time. I'm going at this time. Nothing. Another day passed. October 24th. Oh, I'll go. He said he was going to go again. I'm watching a movie right now, though. I'll go after my movie. Excuse the fuck out of me? You're going to go after a movie? He clearly wasn't going to go. And he was just keeping us both on this string. Do you see how this pattern's going? On October 25th, he came home. This was the first time he was home since the hurricane, and I was so annoyed. I didn't even want to give him his birthday gifts, but the girls did. They were very excited. I straight up looked him in his face, though, and I told him, you don't deserve any of this. I was just sick to my stomach. And it almost became where I was dreading when he would come because I knew there was going to be fighting. But still, I'm looking back through these messages and I can see where I'm so clearly trying to fight for my marriage. He was home and I told him how much better it was when he was home, that I wish he didn't leave, that can we start over and start loving each other correctly. I feel so sad for that girl when I read those messages back. We ended up ordering Chinese and we had like a family movie night. One of the girls was at a friend's house. The other two were there. We were just kind of hanging out. I was not feeling well that night and I didn't know what was going on. And then the morning of October 26th, I woke up and something was wrong. I felt dizzy. I felt sick. Something was not right in my body and I couldn't tell you what it was. Emily's stepdaughter was diabetic, so I happened to check my blood sugar on her meter and my blood sugar was well over 450 at this point. 450. Just for the people who don't know anything about diabetes, a normal range before a meal is 80 to 130. After a meal, 130 to 180. Anything over 180 is high. Anything over 300 is dangerous. So my mom is a nurse. I called and I told my mom, and she said I need to get to the hospital right now. I had texted his mom. She agreed. He agreed. So I'm sitting on the couch and I look at him. I said, let's go. Like, are you going to take me to the hospital? Can you go to the hospital with me? And this man looks at me and he says, there's a football game on. I thought he was kidding, which was a really shitty joke. He said it again. And I realized he was not joking. So I got up and I went to the bedroom and I sat on the bed and I just cried. I cried because I was scared. I cried because I was sick. And I cried because I was ashamed that I needed more than he was willing to give me. He hadn't been home in weeks. And his wife is sick and scared. And he told me he wouldn't go to the hospital with me because of a football game on TV. He comes into the bedroom and he says, put your clothes on, let's go. As if I was a burden, a chore. We get in the car and his mom follows behind us to the hospital. And I already think I knew what was going to happen. And I also knew that in the hospital he wouldn't be able to drink. I'll tell you the rest of this part.
Oh, God. it just keeps getting worse. You think that, oh, okay, we'll send the worst that he can, he could possibly do, and he'll just turn around and give you another version that you're not even expecting. And just imagine what it must have been for her to go through this and having to take care of children on it, financially, emotionally, physically. Right. Oof, my heart goes out to every woman in this situation because let's face it, there are a lot of women in this situation. Even in my country, it's even worse in my country because they will never leave. Most of them, even if you give them a way out, they'll say no, they want to stay married. Oof, guys. See you in the next part.